Randy Couture here, and have we got a badass lineup for you today. First up, we have Clay Bringhurst with the 1897 Winchester shotgun, used with devastating effects in the trenches of World War I and subsequently for decades by law enforcement. After that, we have Trevor Clancy. He's going to show us the Dragunov Soviet SVD sniper rifle. So let's quit lollygagging and get straight to business. It's gunny time, people! Today we have a legendary weapon, the model 1897 Winchester shotgun, and to tell us about this weapon is Clay Bringhurst, a former Marine captain and Iraqi war veteran. Clay?
Hoorah, Randy. Good to see you.
Thanks for being on, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Tell me about this thing. It's really interesting.
Well, it first started out as just your standard ordinary shotgun. They've made so many different variations from hunting. They use them in the police departments, and they use them in the military. Originally, it was used in the Philippines-American War, and they had devastating effects. Pershing, captain at the time, saw those effects, and he felt that it could be employed effectively in World War I, and it absolutely was.
I imagine with trench warfare, I'm assuming that's why this bayonet's fixed to the front of this shotgun, which is not a usual
it's a hell of a sight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sight that would bring fear and intimidation to any enemy. What's really nice about this particular shotgun is that you can ram fire it, meaning you can hold the trigger down and just pump. And that was very effective, so you didn't have to go through 2 steps of chambering around and then pulling the trigger. Just hold that trigger down and just pump away.
Oh, wow.
So that was used with great effect.
Which would raise rate of fire significantly.
Think about World War I. They were using bolt-action rifles, right? Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, this pump-action shotgun shows up, and you're in close-quarters battle. You're thinking that you're engaging an enemy at feet, not yards or tens of yards. And the 5-round magazine, you could drop into a trench or jump into their trench, and you could clear a trench easily with one gun, going at 5 guys who maybe have to cycle around in their bolts, try to get a round off. By the time they do that, you've got a buckshot into them, or you're taking care of them with your bayonet.
Wow.
Perhaps folklore, but there are some stories that they would put the best trap and skeet shooters with these shotguns at the trench line, and when the Germans threw their grenades into the trench, they would shoot them out of the sky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with a buckshot, it's by chance. It's really not a lot of skill goes into it because you've only got a certain amount of pellets. It's not a bird shot, so it makes for a cool story. You think about World War I, you think about all the horrible weapons that were employed, chemical weapons, flamethrowers, machine guns, and all that was, both sides used them somewhat. The Germans actually first employed those. Well, when the Germans saw these on the scene and just the devastating effects of the shotgun, they took issue with it, to the point they wanted to lawyer up. They took a case against the U.S. for using a shotgun in combat, and they claimed it was against the Hague Convention from 1899. And in that convention, all the powers to be, superpowers, came together and said, okay, we're not going to use weapons that are designed to maim or slowly kill you.
So let me get this straight. The guys that were deploying mustard gas in the field of battle had a problem with the shotgun. Really?
Well, not only mustard gas, but chlorine and flamethrowers, yes.
Wow, okay. So obviously this weapon was used a lot more than just in World War I. How long was this deployed?
So this particular shotgun was used from the Philippines all the way to Vietnam.
Okay.
And I can assure you that all of our adversaries felt the same way about it. They did not like it one bit.
I can see why. Absolutely.
Talked a lot about its military uses, but this, again, dates back to the late 1800s. So right at the tail end of the Wild West, you saw stagecoach riders
riding shotgun
with their shotgun. Obviously, they started with the double barrel, but toward the end, pump-action shotgun. The cops, Prohibition days, when you were going against an armed bad guy, Elliot Ness was rocking this type of shotgun. Didn't have the bayonet on it, but it was identical. Using the same type of identical rounds.
Probably busted a bunch of whiskey barrels, this one right here.
I bet. Hopefully they took a couple of them home with them too and busted.
I'll tell you what, I'm excited to try and hammer fire this thing. I've never even heard of a shotgun shooting that way.
As am I. Let's go do it.
Take this bad boy off.
All right, let's do it.
We'll be right back to try out this legendary shotgun at the range. I better see you there. Belly up to the bar, because we're about to take some shots, folks, at some of your favorite liquors, Prohibition style. So we got the model 1897 Winchester shotgun, the trench sweeper, out on the range. And Clay, what do you say we go back to Prohibition and see how the trench sweeper does cleaning up some moonshiners?
You mean like a couple G-men?
That's right, the Untouchables right here.
I like that. Let's do it.
All right, let's
do it.
rock and roll. That looks like some good Kentucky bourbon on the top right there. I'm going to shoot that
Good, it
one
looks
first.
good. Just make sure you save a bottle for me.
That's a tight group.
Nice shooting. Nice shooting.
All right, let's go
Get some
low.
of that moonshine.
You should take that stack.
Would be my
I
pleasure.
want to see that. Oh,
I love it.
see how durable this still is.
The Big Daddy's yours,
Yeah.
buddy. I have a feeling they're not going to be making any moonshine in that still. Nice shoot. Nice shoot. Well, we've got a couple kegs left.
Yeah, I think we got some special ammo for this one.
What do we have here? Incendiary trace slugs. I
I didn't know
like
they
it.
made this for shotguns.
I
It's amazing.
like it. I like it. I like it.
Let's start a fire.
All right.
Boy, I hate to waste good beer.
You know what? I'm going to say that it's more fun shooting at the beer than drinking it.
I have to agree with you. I think the next keg is yours.
I would appreciate the opportunity.
Nice.
Well, let's reload it and get the last one.
All right.
off of that thing, and there's more beer coming out. That is good stuff.
I thought it was empty.
Yeah, we should do this more often.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Model 1897 is really, really bad. That's a nice weapon.
It sure is.
Yeah.
That 12 gauge is so fun to shoot.
Amazing. Cool history. I appreciate all the insight.
It was truly my pleasure, and must thank John Browning for inventing the thing and Winchester for building it, because we sure had a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Until next time.
All right, sir.
Thanks,
we'll see you soon.
Well, I don't think we'll be getting our deposit back on those kegs, but we'll be right back with more gunny time. So don't you even think about changing that channel. Let's peek behind the Iron Curtain and see what the Dragunov is all about. Today we get a chance to play with this Russian sniper rifle, the Dragunov SVD, and who better to explain this than a former Marine and a current SWAT sniper, Trevor Clancy. Trevor, good to have you back on the show, man.
Thanks, good to see you. We've got a Dragunov here, which is a Soviet sniper rifle. The SVD 63 would probably be the official name for this thing.
Okay.
Because Dragunov is the designer of the rifle. And 63 being, it was adopted in 1963.
Oh.
So.
The year of my birth.
Well, there you go.
I like it.
Maybe it's
more.
as old as you are.
And so what caliber?
This one is in the Russian 7.62 by 54 rimmed, which is essentially the standard Russian caliber that they've been using since the late 1800s.
The late 1800s for that cartridge? I mean, that seems like forever ago.
It was, and they're still using that round, and people are still using this rifle, and it's the longest serving cartridge, military cartridge, that's been around. It's probably gonna be hard to beat at this point.
Wow, that's amazing.
As I mentioned, it's a sniper rifle from the Russians, but their idea of a sniper is more of what we would term a designated marksman. More so than a sniper. They don't have guys in 2, 3, 4-man teams sneaking through the bushes, stocking up on somebody, taking shots, and sneaking back out of there. That's not really what they're doing and their philosophy on using these weapon systems. It's more of a supplement and support weapon for the infantry guys, kind of like a machine gun or light mortar would be.
Okay.
So it kind of just fills that gap of accurate fire out at distance that the AK-47s couldn't do.
AK-47 maximum effective range
is probably 300-400 yards.
And this
thing is out to 800, 1,000.
Okay. Obviously magazine fed. How many rounds? What capacity is?
They're 10-round box magazines is what they're dealing with. It's semi-automatic. It's not full automatic. It never was or anything like that. They increased the rate of fire to the semi-automatic because that's a little faster and it's more of that designated marksman rifle than the sniper rifle.
So the scope actually looks pretty high tech for 1963.
Yeah, it's definitely made to be simple and user-friendly. The scope has a windage and an elevation adjustment knob like any typical scope does. But the elevation knob on this is actually a bullet drop compensator. Designed specifically for the ballistics of the round that they were using. Rather than just having clicks that are equal to certain distance at a certain yards, it's actually got numbers along the top here that coincide with different ranges. So if you had a target at 100 yards, 200 yards, you would put it on a 1 or 2, and that way it kind of does the math for you. And also we got a little extra little appendages and switches on here. That's actually a passive infrared identifier within the scope for night vision. So the scope isn't actually night vision, but what it does is allows the person using the scope to identify somebody that is using infrared light.
Okay.
That's essentially what it's doing. And there's also an eye cup on the back of here that essentially sets the eye relief. You have to be a certain distance from that scope to be optimally looking through it, and that kind of sets it for you. It makes it simple for the user to kind of know where to be at.
So they've really kind of just streamlined this thing to get as many shooters up to speed on this weapon as possible. Made it simple, adjustable for just about anybody.
Yeah, definitely making it simple and making it available for the infantry guys that are ultimately be supporting.
So how good and how accurate is this?
This rifle, generally speaking, is probably a 2-minute of angle rifle, which is 2 inches at 100 yards.
Okay.
Generally speaking, for us, accuracy is something that would be sub-minute of angle at this point. So good, but not what we really consider super good accuracy.
Well, let's see if this thing will still shoot straight. I can't account for me, but I want to give it a try.
Yeah, we'll do it. I think it shoots straight. We'll see about you.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's go.
Think I could keep up with Trevor on the range? I'm not holding my breath. All right, we're at the range with the Dragunov. Let's not waste any more time. All right, here we go at the range.
Let's see what these things can
They
do.
got us set up, Trevor.
Okay.
Let's see what these Dragunovs can do. Oh,
That looks like a monster down there.
yeah, Siberian party animal.
He's partying too much.
Got a lot of vodka with it.
He's got too much vodka.
Let's lock and load. Let's take him out.
Let's help him get rid of some of that. You want to start with that middle rack there?
Yeah, let's start with the little bigger bottles before we work our way up to those small ones.
That works. Well,
You go first. You start on the right, and I'll take the next one after that.
sounds good to me. Let's do it.
There he is. You got the big bottle on the right, I got the big bottle on the left.
Oh, nice. I think he's done now.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, he went up in smoke.
Went up to the Yeti barbecue.
Thanks again for showing us the Dragunov, man. I really appreciate it.